It has been eons since I did a full review of a Lexus RX. Let's check in.
In the years since a younger, scrawnier Micah last reviewed the RX, Lexus's mid-size SUV juggernaut has changed remarkably little. The 2021 model still rides on the 4th generation chassis, and yet the RX still sells like a champ. Why is that? Well, great resale values and the implied reliability of that Lexus badge don't hurt. But the RX also offers more tangible benefits.
For instance, the front seats. I've said it before, Lexus makes some of the best seats in the automotive world. There are like no pressure points, and it's supportive. Wow! The cabin also provides more than enough room for average-sized adults like me. I'm 5'10", don't ask. My headroom is fine, plenty of leg clearance. And to enhance comfort, the rear seats do the little recline action. Oh, it's a pretty good recline, and I can slide too. I don't know why I would do this, but I could if I wanted to.
The third row found in the longer RXL is too cozy for long-distance adult travel, but kids can manage back there just fine. Passenger space aside, the RX's interior is quiet, filled with quality materials as long as you don't explore the lower panels, and look, there's a clock! A classy clock. The general aesthetic is starting to feel a little old, but there's still lots to like in here. And on a practical note, there are countless storage spots throughout the cabin, including huge door bins and this cubby near the driver's left knee. For larger gear, the standard power liftgate hides a roomy cargo hold. You can drop the 40-20-40 split rear seats with these handy releases, though it would be nice if those seats folded flat. Very quickly, let's acknowledge the RX's exterior. After all these years, its big grille angularity looks less odd to me, but I'm still not convinced it's a pretty shape. You might feel differently. I do, however, like our tester's blue paint. You might have also noticed we're driving an RX F Sport, which adds unique front and rear fascias, 20-inch aluminum wheels, a sport steering wheel, aluminum interior trim, and sportier F Sport dampers for the suspension. For comparison, here's what the standard Lexus RX looks like. So the F Sport might look sportier, but does it drive sportier?
Item number one is ride quality. We've got a little bit of a bump here. That didn't feel like a bump at all. My one-word review for the suspension, pillowy. As for the steering, I would describe it as light and lackadaisical. Did I choose those words for the purposes of alliteration? Maybe, but they're also true. Oh, and before you leave a comment, yes, I already have it in sport mode. Lackadaisical.
From the driver's perch, the RX does not thrill, even in racier F-Sport guys. But clearly, mellow ride and handling isn't hurting this guy's popularity.
By the way, I'm driving the hybrid, so I should talk about the hybrid brakes, which feel unnatural. That does not feel like a normal brake, and yet I can still use it to come to a very smooth stop. Feels weird, works just fine.
Powering the RX 350, that's the non-hybrid, is a 3.5-liter V6 partnered with an 8-speed automatic transmission and either front or, for an extra $1,400, all-wheel drive. The RX 450h Hybrid comes standard with all-wheel drive, merging a 3.5-liter V6 and 2 electric motors up front, plus a third electric motor to drive the rear wheels. The result is a hybrid that delivers decent acceleration and 30 combined mpg. For comparison, the non-hybrid all-wheel drive RX returns 22 combined mpg. If you want to keep things simple, a basic RX 350 costs a hair more than $45,000. That price includes 10-way power front seats, smart key access, dual-zone climate control, and 10 airbags. Some of the RX's more compelling options are ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, an adaptive suspension for the F-Sport handling package, and a wide 12.3-inch display replacing the standard 8-inch unit controlled by Lexus's remote touch interface.
Some have complained about Lexus's remote touch interface for the infotainment system. I will too. It's not that great versus just touching the screen. You got this little controller down here and it gives you haptic feedback whenever you're over an icon that you can select. It works okay, especially if you have enough exposure. I've used this a bunch of times. If you buy an RX, it'll be okay. Lexus made it possible for you to also use this as a touchscreen, but this doesn't work well as a touchscreen because it's really far reach and you've got this little lip right here, so hitting stuff on the bottom is a little bit awkward. All of that to say, again, you will adapt if you buy an RX, but there are better infotainment systems out there in the world.
On a safety note, all RX trims include active driver assist like lane departure warning with steering assist, blind spot monitoring, and a collision warning system that identifies obstacles ahead, including pedestrians, automatically applying the brakes if necessary. If, as a smart shopper, you're curious about the alternatives, you might also consider the similarly priced Acura MDX, the somewhat pricier but very cool Genesis GV80, or a host of other choices offering varying degrees of affordability and indulgence.
The current Lexus RX is not the newest luxury midsize SUV you could buy, but honestly, Lexus could keep selling generation number 4 for years to come quite successfully. That said, the next time I review an RX, let's hope it's generation number 5.